last video was a lot of fun getting those nuts off. It's pretty satisfying to weld and have things actually turn out and work well. But in this video, we're going to be putting it back together, so hopefully it works well. Video that I didn't make was me taking the heads off of the actual block. That was pretty difficult, but we got it done. And then removing the manifold bolts from the heads. So I was actually able to weld a lot of them off as well, but some of the, I guess they're not bolts, but studs were still just locked in place, very rusted. Tried heat, cooling, welding, and nothing came off. So I took them to a machine shop, which kind of stinks. It's a couple $100 to get done. But he also cleaned them up real nice, which is good, and got all of the studs out. So he actually did a really good job. He did scare me a little bit. He, you know, put a lot of seeds of doubt in my mind around the lifters and that might be an issue as well, and to do the lifters since the heads are off. But we've put a lot of time and money into this thing. I don't think it has a lifter issue. I'm kind of crossing my fingers on that. But I looked at the top of the valves, looked at the push rods. They're fairly smooth. There's no uneven wear. If there were to be uneven wear, then there's definitely a problem. There might be one that's a little questionable, but I feel like, you know, with good oil and maintenance records, or future maintenance, this will hold up well. The last owner clearly didn't. You can see here at the machine shop, he cleaned this up, but there's just like, you know, grime. He really neglected this thing towards the end of its life, but that's why I got it for a good deal. I'll show you guys here the bolts that came from the machine shop that they were able to weld out. It's pretty funny. He did a good job, but they are destroyed. So let me show you that. This was like his souvenir gift bag he gave to me before I left. So I'm not sure if you guys can see this. This was in there real well. No threads at the top where it probably sat, which is a little concerning for the new hardware, but if it goes deep enough with these other threads, we should be all right. It's kind of dark here, but hoping you can see that. So this was a huge one. I just left them long if I couldn't get them too low because I thought it'd be easier for him to extract. He didn't tell me if it was or not, but I'm thinking it was. And then he probably just has a way better welder and actually uses, you know, the argon gas and whatnot. But looks like he even heated the nuts real hard here. So this is what some of them look like. Really puddled it in there. But yeah, so he got them all out, which is awesome. So I'm gonna take one of the heads off, try and figure out which gasket goes on, and try and tighten it up a little bit. All right, so I'm running into some issues. I'm not sure which gasket should go on this side. Fairly confident that this is the passenger side one. So just trying to figure out which gasket goes on based on the side, but then also what I'm realizing is I never took these bolts that are supposed to hold the downpipe and the manifold together. So that might be something I have to do here, which again is just gonna delay this process, but let me see if I can punch that out or something. So I'm gonna use the angle grinder to cut this one off. And then hopefully I can put this manifold on just to see how it works. And then once I get this one on, then I can hack around with this, get these off. There's a hole right here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but we'll see. So I'm gonna get the angle grinder ready and then get going. don't know how to use this thing well without cracking it. Maybe I'll just try and break it with pliers or something at this point. Alright, so I figured out the gasket situation, got that on right. Put the manifold on for this side because I was able to get the downpipe bolts out. The passenger side, we haven't got those out yet, but I just hand tightened these studs and bolts in, and then I have my torque wrench here. You're gonna do these to 18 foot-pounds. I just looked that up online. But I hand tighten them at first because I don't want anything to get too out of place in case it need to be moved. But yeah, I'm gonna tighten these up and then do the other side if I can get those downpipe bolts out. Starting to come off a little bit. These gaskets are probably gonna get screwed by the simple green and dry out a lot, but should definitely replace them anyway. Start to see the Chrysler symbol. Should probably let this soak even longer, but it's working. So, if anything I've learned from this project, I think I've said this before, but it's one, you get what you pay for here. This truck was extremely cheap, and for good reason. It definitely had its problems, and we knew about it, but a lot of underlying problems that I wasn't able to catch, and that's what I got for such a good price. But the other thing here, and the main point with these, is maintenance is key. Like, you can see the sludge that's built up here. And I didn't really understand this before I got into doing this, but the sludge and lack of oil maintenance is really gonna hinder the whole functionality of the timing and how the intake and exhaust work, and it just builds up and it just makes it harder for the components. And when they jam up and get stuck, they end up just wearing down other parts that are key to the functioning of the vehicle. So I think the thing that's important is, as I do more of this, the powertrain, so the engine and transmission, all that are the key here. And all the other stuff like brakes and you know, hub bearings and all that stuff, that's all stuff that can be done. It's more of these bigger projects that you're kind of taking more of a shot in the dark to get done. So just a couple 2 cents here as we're letting these soak and trying to get these things cleaned up. I also would feel bad if I just didn't do this and just put it back together and sold it, because the person would have no idea, whoever bought it next. But I'm trying to just do a solid and hope that this thing kicks around for a while after it's back together. It's working, but it's definitely a slow process. These sponges are gonna get gunked up big time. Alright, this is the next day. I've been spending probably way too much time cleaning these out, but I just didn't want to screw the next person who has it. So not only did I clean them out, but I also bought new gaskets for these. So I'm gonna dry out that spot. Sorry, the finger's in the way. So yeah, definitely spent a lot for this flip, but I don't want to screw the next person, want to do it right. If I end up staying stuck with it, I'll drive it and enjoy it. So might as well do it right for myself as well. So I bought new gaskets for these. Alright, since the old gaskets are out, there's still a little bit of moisture in here, so I'm going to try and dry that out. I believe the moisture will dry out the gaskets, so I don't want them to be wet when I put them in. I also have this lubricant silicone I might put on. I think that's good for it, but I'll double check here. Yeah, lubricates, preserves, protects metal, plastic, wood. So rubber in this case is listed here, which is good. So I might put a little bit on that. Try and help these out live a little longer. So this clip I'm making right now is just to summarize what happened with the truck. I know it's been a while since these videos came out, so I just wanted to wrap this up before showing you videos of other projects I'm on right now. But as you saw to start this video, we did get the truck running. It ran not great, as you could hear in the video, but it started to figure itself out a little bit. After a week or so of driving it, it had a knocking issue, which again was probably the lifters. There's definitely other engine issues. I believe a crack with the block because the oil and coolant mix happened again, despite the head gaskets being replaced. So I think there was actual crack there. I ended up selling it for $2,000, which the vehicle itself I bought for $15,000. Bought a lot of equipment and tools, as I've noted in other videos. So this was at a loss, unfortunately. I sold it to a guy nearby who had two other Dodges with Hemi engines, so he just slapped the new engine into it. Looking back on it, I wish I had done that myself, but I was frustrated with the truck and ready to move on with it. So I sold it for $2,000. Did get it going, which was fun, pretty exciting, and a lot of confidence boosted there, knowing that all the work could be done. But I just want to wrap it up and summarize what happened with the vehicle. So we're on to the next one. I have a 93 XJ Cherokee two-door with 70,000 miles, which I'll be making videos of soon. But I just wanted to conclude this and conclude the video so I can post other videos. Thanks.